Firstly, I just wanted to say that I feel very privileged to be standing here and to be part of the Siach Sod family. I know that Rabbi Levi has no idea what I'm saying because he doesn't speak English, but everything he does and everything he stands for is, on a personal level, is beyond words. Some of you may know I have just showed him the photograph of my Princess Hani, my little granddaughter, who's now a year and a half, and she brought so much light into our family. She has what they call in Hebrew Down syndrome. But as far as we're concerned, all she has is light and beauty and excitement, and she brings so much to our house. And we're so excited to have her as part of our family. And I, in turn, am so excited to be part of the Siach Sod family. And every person over here, just the fact that you're here, this room is a Malkum Kodesh. This place is holy, filled with holy children, and everything that happens over here, in the deepest word of the word special, is indeed special. I know that she really does not want me to mention her name, but Rebbe Bergstein, in the back over there, she put this thing together. Thank you again for being here. There we go. You deserve that, and much more. And we appreciate everything you do. She said she was looking for quality of this evening. So everyone over here is one of her polished gems that she was looking forward to come and hopefully be inspired by this evening. So I'm not a world famous lecturer, I'm a teacher. This is what I do, I teach. And I want to start off by asking everyone a question. Everyone knows that the Chumash is filled with famous prayers. The Chumash is filled with tefillos. Who here, using her knowledge of Chumash, can answer the following question? Where do we find, for the very first time, explicit in the Psukim, a tefillah? Not a Chazal, not Rashi telling us that Adam HaRishon davened for rain. The Chumash, the Psukim themselves, describes a tefillah. What is the first tefillah? We know that the first time that something appears, it's always significant. So it's interesting to ask that question. Where does tefillah begin? Where does the sugya, the parish of tefillah, what is the opening chapter? Say it loud.
Avram Avinu.
Avram Avinu. Thank you, Rebbe and Rivka. Welcome to Eretz Yisrael. Just made Aliyah. It's good to see you. And Avram Avinu, what was you davening for?
To stay Sidon.
There we go. Okay, so someone had a good education. Most people don't get that answer. Most people, it doesn't occur to them that the first tefillah mentioned in Chumash is Avram Avinu davening for those cuddly, affable citizens of Sidon. So just stop and think about what that means for a moment. Not only does he daven for Sidon, but that tefillah becomes eventually what we call tefillas shacharis. So the Gemara Brachos of Kavav brings down that Avram tikein tefillah shacharis and brings down the pasuk right over here, the story of Sidon as being the foundation block of all tefillah. Not only that, the Maharal of Prague, he adds the following, that the first tefillah, the foundation of tefillah, means that every single shacharis, from Avram Avinu until the end of time, finds its koach, finds its yanika, finds its sustenance in that first tefillah of Avram Avinu. So Avram Avinu did not just daven the first tefillah. He basically, in the words of the Maharal, he was mesaking tefillah shacharis. He instituted what we call shacharis power. Just to give you a vision of what the Maharal is saying. Imagine, if you look around, you see over here in the walls, little power outlets, these tiny little power outlets. You can plug in any machine you want. You can plug in your phone, you can plug in a heating element, whatever you want. These little points over there is the potential to connect to a huge, big place just outside Yerushalayim that creates electricity. So Baruch Hashem, this is not Miami. We have Chashmal, everything works over here. But stop and think for one moment. This tiny little outlet connects to something huge. Says the Maharal, every time that you daven your shacharis, you're connecting to something huge. This power on unleashed by Avraham Avinu when he davened for the citizens of Stein. Let me ask you a question. Why on earth would Avraham Avinu care about Sodomites? I'm still traumatized. When my daughter, she's now married, it's a different daughter, she was a little girl in kindergarten. She came home, she said, Abba, you never guess what they taught us in kindergarten about what used to happen in Stone. I was, no, what did he teach you? They used to take little girlies and cover them with honey and throw them into beehives. And they used to get stuck to it. And I said, oh my gosh, what is the problem with this kindergarten teacher? So sometimes our kids come home and they're not traumatized, but I'm traumatized by Stein. Stein is an evil place. It's a place of malicious. I think it's wonderful that Hashem destroyed it. But Avram apparently thought that Stein was worth saving. Why? Why did Avram even want to save Stein? Can someone please answer this question? What on earth does Avram even want? That the first tefillah ever written explicitly in the Chumash, which is the foundation of every tefillah between now and the end of time, should be for Stein. Who cares about these people? This is an interactive moment. You're thinking, leave us alone, it's late in the evening. Go, what do you answer? What are you saying? Say it. You have an answer? What do we care about Stein? The what? It wasn't light. It wasn't light at all. He was not. He was dominating. You see from the initial arguments, he wanted to save the people. He could have saved light. It's not what he wanted. He wanted to come along and to save the citizens of Stein. He had an agenda. I'll give you a clue. It's typical Avraham Avinu. The answer to my question, Avraham Avinu wants to save Stein because he's thinking, like Avraham Avinu thinks, that everyone can be helped. So this is his mindset. Avraham Avinu says, let me go in. Let me open up or Sameach, Eshet Torah, whatever is the politically correct thing to say now. Let me open up outreach branches in Stein, and we're going to save them. We're going to bring them to the real truth, the proper way. I just want to add, the Sfarim HaKadoshim, the Holy Sfarim bring down, that when you destroy a person with his sins, it's not good for the world. If you can change a person and bring to the tshuva, then all that sin becomes schusim and it unleashes goodness, light into this world, especially this time of the year. We don't want people to die. We want people to live and do tshuva and change. And Avraham gets that. And he says, Hashem, give me a chance. Let me go to start. Let me help these people. Let me turn them around. So, Baruch Hashem, I have my notes there. And I'm going to read to you what happened. I'm reading to you from Sefer Bereshis, Perek Yutes, Pasuk Kaf Zayin. Let's find out exactly what happened when Avraham Avinu goes to daven for Stein. So the Pasuk says the following: Vayashkein Avram Babayke. Everyone here knows the perfect time for davening is the crack of dawn, is the moment the sun rises. Maral explains the first moment in the day has all the potential of the whole day. So he wants to capture that moment and turn it into tefillah. Vayashkein Avram Babayke El HaMakom. He goes to a deep place. Where is the place? Thank you very much. El HaMakom, he goes to Har HaBayis. So, the place of the future Har HaBayis, this is the place where all our tefillahs go. We live here in Yerushalayim. That's why Rebbe Shoshana came from New York, because when she davens now, instead of being long distance, she wants to make it into a local phone call. So basically, here in Yerushalayim, our tefillahs go through the Har HaBayis, up to Shemayim. Avraham Avinu goes right there, the place where, at the end of the next week's parasha, he's going to do the Akedah. This was before the Akedah. He had already come to the base Hamikdash of the future base Hamikdash, the place where it's going to be. And there he's davening the first Shacharis for Stein. Vayashkein Avram Babayke El HaMakom. And then he says, Asher Amad Sham. The Gemara in Brachos brings down. From here we learn that tefillah has to be ba'amida, standing up. And the last words are as Pnei Hashem. What does this Pnei Hashem mean? So here we learn that the proper format for davening is called, in the language of the Chazal, Hispashtus HaGashmis. You take your physicality, you discard it, you stand totally ruchani in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Gemara Brachos brings down that the ancients, the great tzaddikim, the Hasidim Rishonim used to prepare for 1 hour before their davening to reach this moment called Hispashas HaGashmus. Think for a moment. Avraham Avinu goes to Har Moriah. He's unleashing the first tefillah. Imagine how much he put into that tefillah. A whole lifetime he's been waiting for that. He knows his children, his grandchildren, at Seif Hayomim until the end of days, are going to get unique strength for their shachars tefillos out of this first tefillah. What happened to that tefillah? Let's have a look. It's in the pasuk. Vayashkev Avram Babayke. Vayashkev. He takes his 3 steps back at the end of the davening. Vayashkev al pnei Sdom v'Amora. He looks what we call today the Dead Sea Valley. Val kol pnei eretz hakika v'hinei Allah kita haaretz kikitar hakivsham. The pasuk says he sees that the world is on fire. He sees from one end of the horizon to the other the terrible, terrible scenes of destruction, of carnage. The world is crimson red from one end of the horizon to the other. The world is filled with death. The world is filled with everything that is possibly negative, everything that is terrible, everything that is destructive. Avraham Avinu understands. Hashem has answered the first shacharis, the foundation block of every shacharis until the end of time, with one big resounding niet. Hashem says no. Hashem says no to the first tefillah ever. So I'm hoping that those of you who are thinking about this for the first time, that you're feeling a little shocked. And you should be feeling shocked. Because, okay, Hashem has a midah called Shomea Tefillah. Every one of the 19 brachos is a midah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. One of them is that he is a Shomea Tefillah, which means he wants to say yes. He wants to answer yes. And therefore, I always teach, you always assume that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to say yes, because that's what he wants to do. The language of the Meiri, Chazaka, Shahatzayek Nirmake Halev. It is a fact that anyone who really davens from the bottom of their heart, She'ein Tefillah Chazeres Reikam. Your tefillah cannot come back empty-handed. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to say yes. So, HaKadosh Baruch Hu always answered yes, and here we see that he says no. So what's going on over here? So I grew up in London. For those of you who are confused with my accents, I lived in America, so I'm a little bit of a mutt. But I started off in England. I used to speak like this. And in England, I grew up and I heard a Yiddish phrase, maybe from my grandfather the first time. He used to say the following: if you speak Yiddish, it helps, but I'll translate it immediately into English. I was a lo lech manglit, a lo lech bivlit. I'll say in Yiddish: the Eibishter empfinish, nein, the Eibishter empfer nish. Let me say that slowly. The Eibishter empfer nish, God answers no, nein, incorrect. The Eibishter empfer, he did answer, nein, with a no. So I grew up hearing the statement that is part of the hashkafa, that we raise our children, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a right to say no when we ask, just like a father can say no to a child, a mother can say no to a child, HaKadosh Baruch Hu can also say no. Eibishter finished, Hashem says no, he did answer. He answers with a no. That's the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu answered. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful line in Yiddish. And everyone knows this, everyone hears this. There's one small little problem with the statement. This is the main reason why I'm standing in front of you today, is for the next 30 seconds, the rest of my presentation is just explaining what I'm about to say. There's only one small, teeny little problem, says Reb Chaim Kanievsky, and others, but Reb Chaim Kanievsky writes this in an essay called Tzedukah L'Torah. The problem with the statement is that it is incorrect. It's sheker. Hashem never says no. Hashem always says yes. it is unhealthy to teach your children in the age to finish. You shouldn't say those words to your children. Hashem always says yes. So what are you all thinking now? I'm sorry, Rabbi, but you're in denial. I'll tell you all the things that I've done before that Hashem said no. So I know what you're saying, I know what Chaim Kanievsky means, but now I'm going to ask you to allow me to explain. Because what I'm about to say now is so important that you understand fully, not just intellectually, but in your hearts, when you talk to Hashem. And that is the following. Let's contrast two scenes. Scene number one is a child asking a parent for something. This is Motzei Shabbos. This is Israel, so I don't know how it would work in Israel. I should think about my teenage kids. In America, you have teenage kids, goes to ask, we'll make it like, I was seeing there was Charusa and he's learning. In America, I say he's watching TV. You can't say that anymore. Baruch Hashem. But I say, fathers, this is Charusa. And kid comes in and says, Abba, can I have the keys to the car? Or, depending on where you are, Abba can have the keys to the Lexus. So, Father says, I really want to, I'd love to lend it to you. I would love to lend it to you. But what can I do? What can I do? I have an important meeting and I need to say no. I'm sorry, you're just going to have to borrow Mama's station wagon. And the kid says, not cool. And you're like, not cool. Like you're teenagers. And yeah, so that's it. The kid walks out, sorry. I'm sorry, we're like teenagers. You would never do such a thing. But whatever it is, your cousins, they'll lift me off. Maybe they would.
Why can't you
Shut
take
up.
the station wagon?
What?
Why can't the father take the station wagon?
Why can't the father take the station wagon? There we go. But obviously, I'm trying to make a point over here. What's the point I'm trying to make? Is that in the real world that we live in, kids ask for the parents, and the parents say no. Kids in my world, right? Here in Yerushalayim, kids may ask, I don't know, I want to go to such a friend's house. And say, I'm sorry. We have to say no. We have reasons, but we have to say no. And the kid's upset with you. You say no to your kids. It's healthy to say no. Hashem never does that. Hashem never does what I just said. Hashem does the following. When you ask Hashem for something, Hashem says yes. But He says yes in His language. He says yes in the language of the Eibush, which means the following. Hashem says, Kiviyachol. Hashem says, I hear exactly what you're saying. And because I'm Hashem, I actually know why you're asking. And now, I want to do the following. Hashem says, I'm thinking through what is the best way for me to say yes to your request. So Hashem's not saying no. He's taking your request and He's channeling it with His own infinite ability to see the big picture. How can I say yes in a way that if you would understand my cheshbon, you would say, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Yaakov Baruch Hu, you got it. I'm saying you're Hashem, but you figured it out. That's really what I wanted. You really understand what I want. So you ask for something, and Hashem says, I'm saying yes in my language. So at this point now, a lot of you are saying, Rabbi Nissel, I'm a little bit confused. You're going to have to explain this up. For Hashem, we have time. Right? So I'm going to explain exactly how this works. I'm going to make a statement. This statement is my own statement. I'm going to categorize 4 different ways that Hashem says yes. This already is not Chaim Kanievsky, this is Menachem Nissel. 4 ways that Hashem says yes, and each one is believing a yes. The first category is the simplest category. You ask for something, and Hashem says exactly yes to what you ask. So, not just to what you ask, but how you want it, so that you are so thrilled in how the outcome happens. So, this includes requests that are outrageous. You ask for something outrageous. So, the classic example of an outrageous request, Hashem, I want you to heal someone, even though the doctors have given up. So, we had this in our family. My wife's mother, Meshriga, Al Shalom. So, as we speak this afternoon, my daughter Lara is having her Bas Mitzvah party with her friends. So she was born on Rosh Hashanah, and she's named after my shliga. This story must go back now 15, 16 years. I know whether Rebbe Brooks remembers her. My wife's mother, she was an incredible woman. She was from the foundation blocks of the Gila Kadosha of Memphis, Tennessee. But about 15 or 16 years ago, the doctors called my wife in Yerushalayim and said, come back to America to say goodbye to your mother. She is not going to make it. That's what they said. She was in a terrible, terrible condition, and the doctors were convinced that she wouldn't make it through Shabbos. I remember I drove my wife to the airport, and on the way, I'm teaching her the halachas of what happens when your mother passes away. And that's it. She goes to Memphis, Tennessee. I'm staying with my family, with Daphne, for my shidduch. And when Shabbos was over, I pulled up the hospital. I explained to the nurses, so, here in Israel, Sabbath is over. How's Mama doing? Everyone calls her Mama, Big Mama. How's Mama doing? It's the South. And the nurse says, I sure can't tell you how good Mama's doing, but it's sure been a lot of praying down yonder. Apparently, the whole shul, the whole Anshe Sfarad Beth LMS, had come down to the Baptist Memorial East to make a prayer service on behalf of my shidduch, on behalf of Mom. And it was down over there, the whole thing, the whole little hospital over there turns into a shul. And then, what happened was, I'm quoting my mother-in-law, my angel came. My angel, who was the angel? The doctor came from the dead. He was connected to the Kehillah. They knew him, he came from a different part of the hospital to check up on Mama. He turned around to the other doctors and says, look, she's got to die. So I want to make a suggestion. It's a long, long shot. It's a 1 in 100 chance it's going to help. But anyhow, she's dying. What do you have to lose? Try a different method. They said, okay. And they tried a different method, and she went on to live another 3 or 4 years, including many beautiful simchas that she was able to partake. And that was it. My angel came, and through the koyach of tefillah, there's no question about it, that she was over to have a new lease on life. What's my point? That sometimes everything works out like a fairy tale. You ask for something beautiful from a Kodesh Baruch Hu that's like beyond statistical probability, and Hashem says, you know what? Let's make it happen right now. So these things happen. That's category number 1. Category number 1 is all the times Hashem says yes to what you ask, how you ask, and it's beautiful. So the example would be that you're looking for a shidduchim. I don't know. Okay, I'm sure there are people that still shayach over here. Shidduchim. So you daven to marry Chaim. I don't know why you want Chaim, but you decide you want Chaim. It doesn't work out. Really, HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not want it to work out. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants it to be that it should be Yaakov. So this is something that happens again and again and again. Then you daven for something specific. Hashem says that this doesn't work out. You're devastated. You realize afterwards that this was the best thing that ever happened. I just heard a story just now. Close friend of mine. From my inner circle of Yediyah. We flew back on the plane. I was just now in Chutzaretz. We flew back on the plane together. And he told me this is the most difficult thing for me ever. Why is it so hard? He said, because my son wants to get engaged. And they're holding up the shidduch because of me. So I said, how long has this been like, He said, it's been 2 weeks. For 2 weeks they wanted to get engaged. And I couldn't because I'd be in business in North America. Okay, so it's like a crazy story. He gets back home and actually gave him a ride home. And the next day I see him in yeshiva. And I go out to him and I say, look, he announced the Mazel Tov, and I see his face is not so happy. He says, last night we pulled off the shidduch. He says, what happened? He says, basically yesterday, a whole bunch of things came out about the shidduch. And I had my sfeikus, son had his sfeikus, and then he called his Rosh Yeshiva, actually called the person in his yeshiva that deals with shidduchim, and he said, you have to break it up. Then I called him. The kid said it was a whole drama, and in the end we ended up breaking it up. So they were devastated. They were absolutely devastated. But what came out is the following thing. Yesterday, I met my friend, and he told me that my son's a big mensch. My son is the kind of person that, he said, if they would have got engaged, he would never have broken it off, even with the information. He would have tried to make it work. So So he says, I could not do this to Regal, is to break off an engagement. But this was before the engagement was announced, so I was able to break it up. So I said to my friend, you realize how Kadosh Baruch Hu loves you. There were you were so mad that you were two weeks late. Imagine that you would have come 2 weeks earlier. You would have got engaged. This information would not have come out. You would have got engaged, you would never broken up the engagement when the information came out, because your son's a big man. You would have spent the next couple of years in therapy together, trying to make the glue of the marriage work. So what did Kadosh Baruch Hu do? Kadosh Baruch Hu gave you what he thought was a punishment. Is that you were sitting there for 2 weeks in shul, because really Hashem was taking care of you. Sometimes you see the hashgacha process and it's so powerful and it's so beautiful. When I wrote this class, you can see how old this class was. So I just read this story about the Hasidim that were trying to make to the Rebbe's wedding. They came from Yerushalayim. They're trying to get to New York, trying to get to Flatbush, because the Rebbe's daughter is getting married. And you know that if you're a Hasid and you raise the money to fly to America to your Rebbe's daughter's wedding, you want to get there. What's the biggest nightmare? I'll tell you a secret. I had this nightmare, personally. This is my biggest fear. When I fly from here to New York, what's the most frightening part of the whole journey? What's the only place where you really need to say towards the derech? Jerusalem Tel Aviv Highway. You know, duh. Okay, obviously, that's it. That's the only real sakana. I always say, you know, like, people worry about terrorism and things like that. No, this is the most dangerous thing. This is actually, once you get to the airport, it's very unusual that things go wrong. But this particular story happened that the Nesha broke down. It's a nightmare. So you can imagine good tefillah, they hated good tefillah, the Hasidim, we want to be in the red, but it never happened. And I'll show you how old the story was. Because the flight that they missed was a Pan Am flight. So you don't even know what I'm talking about, but you ladies do, right? Remember Pan Am, right? Pan American Airlines. And it blew up over the Scottish city of Lockerbie, and there were no survivors. And that was the plane they were supposed to be on. So sometimes we get to see how much Hashem loves you when He says no. There are other times when things happen, which was, you thought it was going to be that, but it turned out to be a little bit different from what you expected. So, I hear this, and you probably hear this all the time. And sometimes you have questions, you don't understand what happened, but sometimes a little bit, you get like a little peek into how Kadosh Baruch Hu works. The example that he gives, the Mabit, is an example that I don't want to share with you now, because it's very complex to explain. But his example is how Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to go to Eretz Yisrael, and Hashem had to say no for cheshbonos that are beyond our ability to understand. He said to Moshe Rabbeinu, if I have to say yes to you, it's going to be connected with Tzeni, and it's going to mess up kiviyachol what I want to do. But he asked Moshe Rabbeinu, why do you want to go to Eretz Yisrael? Why is it such a big deal for you? And Moshe Rabbeinu answered, I don't want to go there for the shawarma. Okay, I don't want to go there for the views, whatever it is, or for the beautiful food that CSO gives us when this presentation is over. That's not why. That's not why I want to. I want to go stuck in to fix things. So Hashem says, no problem, that I can arrange. He takes him to the top of the mountain and he lets him see into Eretz Yisrael until the end of days. So I know what this means, I really don't, but it means that Moshe Rabbeinu was looking into this room, saying that everything should be exactly perfect. So Kadosh Baruch Hu has this ability to say yes, but in a way that you get the nachas, you get the joy, you understand what Kadosh Baruch Hu is trying to do. Third category. The third category is my favorite, because I work with Kiruv. And sometimes I get supposed to give this class in the Bay Yerushalayim, and whenever I say this, always you can see one girl with a little bit of tears coming out. You see a little bit of her eyes are welling up. A little bit of history, okay, for the young ladies over here. 100 years ago, the world was a very, very, very messy place. It's not like today. But Baruch Hashem, live in Yerushalayim. Baruch Hashem, the Haredi world over here is very healthy, and we have all kinds of support groups and all the things that are going on. In those days, in Lita, in Lithuania, in Poland, in Russia, in Ukraine, people were running away from the pogroms and from the Tsars, and they were going to the Golden Medina, going to America. Everything was in America. That's what it was. Everything going to America, the Golden Medina. What would happen? So they knew what was going to happen. They knew that once they arrived in American shores, it's just a question of when. they give up their Yiddishkeit. And thousands of Yidden gave up their Yiddishkeit. So I want you to picture the scene. Imagine it's the year 1900, and we are revisiting Yitzhak Avinu, Rivka and Meir, each one in a different corner, but they're davening, Hashem, don't let it happen to my kingdom. Not my children. They should go to America and stay for them. And you see the tears coming out, the tears, and they're crying, please, save my children. What happens? You get the first telegram. Ask your grandparents what the word telegram means. It's complicated. You get the first telegram. Telegram says, Heilige Mama, Heilige Tata, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I couldn't find a job without working on Shabbos. Can you imagine getting such a letter? The parents crying, please the angel. And then they get another letter, Heilige Mama, Heilige Tata, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but we made a decision to send our children to the Goyish school. We want to give them a chance in America. And the grandparents die with their tears. And their story is the story that we read on Seder night. Chacham, first generation, Rasha, second generation. Third is the Tam. The Tam, they don't know what's going on. The fourth is She'ena de Elisha. The fourth already don't understand why should they be Jewish. And they go to some college campus, and then they meet, the Asian Torah rabbi, and meets them and says, I'm sending you to Neve, I'm sending you to Yerushalayim, I'm sending you to Or Samach, to Asian Torah. And suddenly, a generation later, they're back to Haredi again. They're laying in the mirror, sending up the whole Torah home. What's going on over here? The answer is, those tears did not go to waste. Like we're going to see now in Simchas next week. Kadosh Baruch Hu takes Dumaz, B'noit Chaliyas. Kadosh Baruch Hu has a little cup where he keeps tears. Apparently the Romans, when they used to go to battle, so their wives used to keep a little vial, and they used to put their tears for their husbands. And this was apparently to show their love for their husbands. And Kiviyachol, you see, Hakadosh Baruch Hu does the same thing for us. One generation, two generations, three generations, boom, payday. Now is the time. Hakadosh Baruch Hu says, for you, I now bring out those tears that your children can be from. And I say this over to Bali Tshuva. Don't think it's the great Makarvin that made you from. Don't think it's the dynamic cure professional. No. There's someone looking out for you out there. Someone was crying for you. And those tears are finding fruit, finding in you. And you should be able to have the schus to learn Yerushalayim HaKadosh. That is category number 3. By the way, this category, I was over to hear it from my Rebbe Shlomo Volba. A few times he mentioned it. Rav Chaim Kanievsky says in the name of his father, the Steipler. So let's just go with the 3 categories, and then we get to the 4th one, which is the most important. How does Hashem say yes? First he says yes to what you want, how you want, exactly everything you ask for, 100%, everything is perfect. Second category, something happens in your life. It's so extraordinary. It's so beautiful. The only explanation is that your tefillos that you ask will go redirected in a way that you understand that you were zeicha from your tefillas. Please do not misunderstand me. Understand? Tefillah is not like money. It's not like you manufacture money. And Hashem says, I'm not going to use it here, I'm going to use it for that. No, it's not how it works. He takes your ratzon and he understands that you get nachas ruach when you see what happens. The third category is Hashem says yes, but it takes many generations. The 4th and final category is the most important of all. And this is the real essential definition of the word emunah. What does emunah mean? Emunah means we say emunah in English means faith. Faith in what? That stories have happy endings? Stories do not always have happy endings. But stories have explanations. And the essential emunah that we have is that there will come a time, and meet Hashem sooner or later. Meet Hashem, hopefully even before Rosh Hashanah, where a man called Eliyahu will come with Mashiach King. And they will sit down with every single one of us and show us how every single heartfelt tefillah that came from the deep recesses of our neshamas, every tefillah, every tear, how it was used for the most beautiful and most powerful and most perfect thing ever. You know how you're going to react? You're going to be laughing. How do I know? You say it before benching. Oz Yamali Yitzchak Pina. That great laughter at the end of days is the laughter realizing how Hashem said yes to every tefillah in the way that was the most beautiful, most powerful, most perfectly possible. When we realize what we achieve with our tefillahs and the lives that we save there, we ask for something small, Hashem says, no, I'm using your tefillah for something big. I'm going to really use something big with your tefillah. And you suddenly understand what Hashem did. With Hashem, when Mashiach comes, we're going to understand that the first time was called the Seif HaGilgul. So again, I don't know about Kabbalah, but in the Kabbalah revealed to us, every person in this room is not living their first life. It's it. Previous lives and previous lives. Maybe it's our fourth time here. That's the smart Makdosh you bring. And those of us that have special needs kids, so we feel that in our guts. It's a special neshama that came down, for whatever reason, into a guf that needs refuah. But the neshama is Kodesh Kadosh. Siach, Said, Sarfei Kodesh. We know that it's there. So we have questions, and we're adopting for our child, for every small little change, and small little refuah, and these children always need our tefillahs. We're asking what happened to all those tefillahs. Boy, we would be laughing. Oh my gosh. As Rabbi Shapira said, he read the article. Okay, when Mashiach comes in the end, there's going to be the famous dance that Baruch Hu makes a mochel of tzaddikim. His children go to the center first. They're the ones that have no sin. They just generated the chesed. They're the ones that have already reached the tikkun. And they bring in the parents to dance with them, with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And boy, will there be so much laughter, and then we'll realize what those tefillahs, what these tefillahs achieved. How much Tayyib and Chesed as well, these children generated so many tefillahs, and every tefillah was used for the most incredibly beautiful, powerful thing. Again, number one, tefillah is used exactly what you asked is what you got. Number two, tefillah is used b'doyim l'mash b'kasha, but you get it, you see it for yourself. Number three, you don't get to see it, but your future generations will. And number four, is we wait to find the answers from Eliyahu Navi when all these questions are answered, and that's the great laugh at the end of the days. So next time someone gives you a name to daven for, and you hear the doctors have given up, it happens, unfortunately, all the time. So what do? You say you don't give up. I don't care about doctors, but doctors are not God. Doctors don't know everything. They don't know everything. Yeshua Hashem Keherapayim. We believe that every second that a Jew is alive in this world, believing in Hashem, number one, tremendous nachas ruach to Hashem, which means it's great for that person. And therefore, we daven that the person, even the person can live a little bit longer, but the person can have quality of life, that their last days will be with minimum pain. But most of all, we still believe that those tefillahs that we daven for those people, the doctors gave up on them, creates tayyib in ways we don't understand. For us, for them, when they go up to Shemayim, the malachim that were created from those tefillahs are there to greet them, we don't give up with our tefillahs. We never give up with our tefillahs. Till the end. We believe in the koyach of miracles. We believe that Kodesh Baruch will take those tefillahs and use them for the best of the best. It's the basic and order for years. And now, finally, I can go back to Avram Avinu. And I challenge you to find something more beautiful to go home with than the following thoughts. What I'm saying to you now is based on the writings from Tzadok HaKohen of Reuven.
Based on what?
Reb Tzadok HaKohen. Reb Tzadok. He says the following thing. Once upon a time, there was a man called Avram Avinu. Avram Avinu wants to institute the first chakras. Not any chakras. He wants to be misaking the power of chakras, the great electrical generator, which is going to provide electricity to every single chakras to the end of days. So even if you're not having the best davening, because you didn't sleep last night, and you're having like a davening chakras, don't worry about it. Avram Avinu's got your back. That first chakras is there for you. And now when he does the chakras, he puts his whole essence, his whole into that first chakras. Who's he davening for doing? And he davens, and he davens, and he davens, and he takes his 3 steps back, and he sees a world on fire. He sees a world that's being destroyed. He sees the crimson red of destruction from one end of the horizon to the other. It says Reb Tzadok that in the corner of his eye, he sees a tiny little spark of light that was created by his tefillah. What happened to that spark of light? So, a man called Lot grabbed it and passed it through the most disgusting story, one of the most disgusting stories in Chumash. He passed it to his daughter to create a child called Moab. Who is Moab? The Sfarim break down, Moab is Gematria 49. All 49 levels of darkness are found in this creature called Moab. It's hard to call him human, but he was human. But he held inside layer upon layer of darkness and filth and lowliness and tumult was in this man called Moab. But guess what? He carries a spark. He passes it from one disgusting generation to the next, door after door after door, until suddenly, boom, a woman by the name of Rus Moabiyah. Rus takes all that darkness and brings out a little light and says, I'm turning this into a flame. And that flame is passed many generations later to David Melech and Shlomo Melech. And Rus gets to see Shlomo Melech ruling over the whole world. And everything at that moment then is perfect to bring the Melech HaMashiach. But it wasn't the right time. And Shlomo was not Zocher. And that spark had to go back into hiding for thousands of years. And then comes a moment in time when a man by the name of Mashiach Tzidkenu, ben Shlomo HaMelech, ben David HaMelech, ben Rus, ben Moab, ben Lot, ben that spark created out of Adam Avinu Shachris. And he will bring this spark out one more time. And what will he do with that spark? He will turn it into not to a little flame. He will turn it into a raging fire of light that will stretch from one end of the universe to the other end. And where will be the first place he will go to? He'll go back to Stein. Stein today is a metaphor for every evil, in every place that's raw, in every disgusting place in this world. He'll go back and he'll turn it around and he'll encourage it and bring it back to Tshuva. And every lowly place on this planet that is filled with darkness will be flipped around and turned to this pure, sublime light. And here we see how Avram Avinu, not only was he answered with a yes, it was the greatest yes of all. Hashem says, Sabranuch Habibi, Avram Avinu, it's going to take a few thousand years. But when I say yes, it's not just that, it's the whole universe, it's the whole world. It's the tikkun ha'ol. Everything's going to be perfected through your first chakras. Everything is going to find its place. So I conclude to the chashuv ladies of this room, and I say to you that you have no idea what you're doing with your tefillas. You have no idea. Don't just daven chakras. Daven mincha, daven marv. Don't just daven chakras with the marv. Every single little thing in your heart. You know, you daven for your children, and for your einiglach, and for Klal Yisrael, for every single little thing. And daven for finding parking in Geula. You can daven for whatever you want. You know what I mean? You can daven for whatever it is. You can daven to find the right outfit for daven. Ask Hashem whatever stresses you. Hashem wants to hear you. Hashem wants to hear your voice. And sometimes you say, Hashem said no. No, Senor, you are wrong. Hashem did not say no. Hashem is upgrading your tefillah. You understand? It's getting an upgrade. It's going to the next level. You're just not going to necessarily see it. Maybe you'll see it soon. Maybe your children will see it. Or maybe you just got to wait for Mashiach to explain the whole thing. When he says yes, it's going to be the best yes possible. So keep davening. You will see, as Hashem is baruch, we will be zocha, to laugh together with the joy, with Mashiach, of seeing how every single tear and every single heartfelt prayer was answered in the most beautiful way, with us in the Tzchei Pina, the coming of Mashiach in here in the name. Thank you very much, and thank you for listening, and see you until tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Wait, we're not done? Oh, you're not getting out of here so fast. You know, we talk so much about special need kids.